You ever see a new piece of tech drop that just feels like the future, only to watch it completely crash and burn in the most spectacular way? Well, today we are diving into the story of Clawdbot, a viral AI assistant that promised to change absolutely everything, but instead it became one of the biggest cautionary tales in AI security we've ever seen.
I mean, just listen to that promise. This wasn't just another chatbot we're talking about. The idea was an autonomous agent that could literally live on your computer, manage your life, and work for you around the clock. The concept was so powerful and, as it turns out, wildly popular.
And to give you a sense of the hype here, the project got over 60,000 stars on GitHub. Now, if you're not in the dev world, that is a massive signal. It's basically the equivalent of a blockbuster movie having a record-breaking opening weekend. The whole world was watching, and everybody wanted in.
And here's the craziest part. That explosion of interest, it all happened in just 3 days, 72 hours. This wasn't some slow burn. It was a full-on rocket launch of viral adoption. It moved way faster than anyone, especially its creator, could have possibly been prepared for.
Famous last words, right? You know, when you've got that much power, that much hype, and that much speed all hitting at once, the potential for disaster, it isn't just a maybe. It's pretty much a guarantee. And that is exactly where our story takes a very sharp turn.
All right, so before we get into all the chaos, let's actually break down what this thing was. What made Clawdbot so revolutionary in the first place?
So the project was first called Clawdbot, but it got rebranded to Moltbot later on. It was created by Peter Steinberger, and its big selling point was being local first. That means it ran right on your computer, not somewhere in the cloud, and that gave it a level of access and control that was pretty much unheard of.
And what could it do with all that access? Well, basically anything you could. It could plug into your private messages on iMessage and Slack, sort through your entire inbox, and now this is the really critical part. It could run shell commands. That means it can install software, delete your files. It could access the very core of your computer, all while remembering every conversation to get smarter and smarter.
And this is the moment where that incredible dream smacks right into a very harsh reality. See, the combination of that insane viral hype and all that power created what you can only describe as a perfect storm for a security catastrophe.
So, where did it all go wrong? Well, as thousands and thousands of excited users were installing this tool, security researchers started digging in, and they found some truly terrifying problems hiding just beneath the surface.
Okay, so what's wild here is how all these failures just stacked on top of each other. First up, users were setting it up wrong, leaving over 1,000 of these AI assistants just wide open on the internet with no password. Anyone could get in. Second, the tools stored super sensitive things like API keys in plain old text files, making them ridiculously easy to steal. Third was this nasty trick called prompt injection. An attacker could literally hide a malicious command inside a normal-looking email. The AI would read the email, see the hidden command, and just run it, letting the attacker steal private files. And to top it all off, the feature that let the community add new skills had zero security checks, making it a perfect way to sneak malware onto thousands of computers.
But the fallout from all these technical problems wasn't just about stolen data. All of this public chaos and confusion created the perfect cover for some very clever scammers, who saw a golden opportunity to turn all that hype into a massive payday.
Their big moment came during that panicked name change. As the developer was scrambling to ditch the Clawdbot name to get away from all the bad press, the scammers were just waiting, ready to pounce.
And this whole thing is just a masterclass in how modern scams work. I mean, within seconds, they snatched up the original social media and GitHub accounts. Then, they used that official look to launch a completely fake cryptocurrency, the CLAWD token. They rode that massive wave of viral hype, pumping the value sky high as unsuspecting people piled in, right before the whole thing came crashing down when the real creator publicly said he had nothing to do with it. And get this, at its peak, the market cap of this totally fake token hit an estimated $16 million. Just a staggering amount of money made from nothing but pure hype, confusion, and deception.
So here's the really crucial takeaway. This wasn't just about a single bug or a simple scam. The whole Moltbot incident was actually a symptom of much deeper problems, and it served as a massive wake-up call for the entire AI industry.
When you really break it down, the crisis came from a whole mix of things. A huge chunk of it was just a lack of security awareness from users who really didn't grasp the risks they were taking.
A lot of them also fail to follow even basic security steps. But, a big piece of the blame also has to go to the tool's core design, which was just fundamentally insecure. And then all of that was poured gasoline on by the viral hype, which pushed people to adopt it way, way too fast.
This whole mess exposed a fundamental challenge that security experts are now calling the double agent problem. Think about it for a second. You give this AI all of your permissions. It's supposed to be on your team. But what happens when an outsider tricks it with a malicious email? It can be turned against you, becoming a secret double agent working inside your own system.
And that is the real wake-up call here. This isn't the kind of problem that your traditional firewall or antivirus software can just fix. AI agents represent a brand new way for attackers to get in, turning a tool that's supposed to help you into a weapon that can be used against you.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty terrifying, I know. But the story isn't just a warning, it's also a lesson. And that brings us to the most important question of all. In this new era of super powerful AI agents, how do we actually protect ourselves? Well, first you have to understand exactly what permissions you're handing over to an AI. Read the fine print. Second, stick to security basics like using a VPN so the tool isn't just hanging out on the open internet. Third, compartmentalize. That means running these powerful tools in an isolated sandbox like a virtual machine. So if they do get compromised, the damage is contained. And finally, just be skeptical of the hype. The newest, shiniest tool on the block is not always the safest one.
Look, this whole incident is just a stark reminder that while the potential for AI is absolutely enormous, we are really just beginning to figure out the security side of things. It's like we're building the plane while we're flying it, and yeah, it's going to be a bumpy ride.
So, ultimately, the story of Clawdbot leaves us with a critical question. Autonomous AI agents, they're not some sci-fi fantasy anymore. They're here, and a lot more are on the way. The real question is no longer if they're coming, but whether we, as users, as developers, as a society, are truly ready for them.